Well, here it is, Jurassic Park. Let's hop into the Jeep and I'll show you around.
Wow, beautiful day in the park, isn't it?
Boy, it sure is, James. Uh-oh. Don't look now, but I see something in the rearview mirror. Something's following us. I better put it into overdrive. Boy, you said it, James. They almost got us. James and I are up on our way to the main building.
We're hoping to get a closer look at some real dinosaurs so we can draw them better. Step on it!
All right, well, let's get back to the art room so we can start drawing dinosaurs. Okay, then. Hey, I'm glad we made it out of Jurassic Park alive. Boy, that dinosaur almost got us. Anyway, welcome back to the art room for our dinosaur drawing episode. And before we get going, as usual, James, would you introduce our supply list, please?
For this episode, you'll need a piece of white paper, pencil, black chalk pastel, white eraser, kneaded rubber eraser, and of course, your imagination.
So, T-Rex or Tyrannosaurus Rex, wow, what a cool guy with his huge head and all those sharp teeth. He was the king of the dinosaur world. And these tiny little arms in combination with these huge muscular legs give him a great look. He just looks like the ultimate predator. So, once again, we're going to be using basic shapes to do this drawing, as we did. If you like drawing this way, there's another video you might catch in our series about drawing horses. We had a lot of fun with that one, and we used charcoal as well, charcoal and pencil on our horse drawing. So, as you can see here by my setup, I always use some kind of a reference when I'm drawing like this. You just can't make things up when you're an artist and you want to draw something kind of realistic looking. So I've got my laptop over here with a picture of T-Rex on it, and we're going to get right into it with some basic shapes. I'm working in black charcoal, of course. Here's the drawing I made earlier this morning. I had a blast doing that, and maybe we'll change it up a little bit this time, or maybe make his tail flip around a different way or something. I hardly ever do it the same way each time. So grab your pencil and here we go. I'm going to start right about in the middle with a egg shape, and once again, when we're drawing this way, you're going to want to draw lightly with your circle. My egg shape, I'm doing mine much darker than I would if it was just me drawing here and I wasn't with you. On the end of that egg, let's put another little smaller egg here. You're going to stick another little smaller egg shape. Basic shapes help so much when you're drawing something like this. And coming up from this end of the egg, we're going to start with a kind of a little bit of a uphill line here. This is going to be the neck of our T-Rex. And right around here on the end of that line, we'll put a circle, a sketch in that circle. Okay. All right. Then out from that circle, we're going to project a couple of shapes. This is going to be his kind of a mouth, upper mouth here. See if you can't do a shape that looks a little bit like that. Hook it into the circle. And then down here, same thing. Hey, you can see the T-Rex forming already. Another shape like this coming out from that circle we just put in there. And feel free to stop if I'm moving too fast. I probably am. So we'll join the head and the neck here. A little bit of a bulge out of that circle and then down into that first egg shape that we drew. And then down here we're going to make the lower part of his neck hook in. Okay, you getting that? I think you are. I tell you, drawing dinosaurs, I think that's the first thing I remember as a kid, wanting to draw dinosaurs. Oh my gosh. I know, that's just like the coolest thing you could ever want to draw was a dinosaur. So, as long as we're back here, we might as well extend his tail out. And in my my source picture over here, the tail's kind of going down off his body. So I think this time I'll just give it kind of a nice flip up in the air. Make his tail flip up in the air. Don't worry about how long it is right now. Just a line like that will do. Okay. So back here now on this smaller oval that we hooked into the main oval for his body, we're going to start and make a line, kind of like our figure drawing, human figure drawing one. That's going to be his upper leg. Make a ball shape right there where his knee will be, and then drop down. Save a little room down here if you can. Drop down to his ankle bone. Okay, knee, ankle. And then dinosaurs have this really unique foot structure, very much like a chicken. I guess they're relatives. Huge chicken. So we're going to go back then, change a little bit of a direction there, go back a little bit, and that's going to be where his foot is. Now his other foot will be back here, so here's the kneecap of his other leg, and we'll project that lower portion of his leg back that way with another ankle, and then back here for that part. Okay, how you doing? I hope you're doing okay. Little bitty arms up here in the front. They're kind of cute little things. So they're not much to draw. So just a line from, make a little ball shape there for his place where he's kind of got a little shoulder thing there, and then we'll go back to a elbow, and then out for this little tiny hand. And it looks like he's got 3 fingers only. I'm not quite sure about that. My picture shows 3 fingers. So if you're a better dinosaur expert than me, maybe you can correct me on that. Okay. And then on the other side, we're just going to see not the shoulder, but the elbow, and then out to a finger situation like this. Hey, he's already starting to look pretty cool. So let's give him a thickness on his tail and taper that down with his tail. Okay, now here comes the part where we may need to do a little bit of an erasing here. These T-Rexes have these huge upper legs. That's why they can run so fast. So we're going to do a big leg muscle here that is going to hook into our kneecap. I'll get rid of some of that so you can see a little better. So we're going to go right into that kneecap of our T-Rex there on that leg, and then the lower part of his leg, just like very much like a human part of his leg, another shape like this, very much like the lower portion of your leg, like that. Okay, and the kneaded eraser comes in so handy. This kneaded rubber eraser, just kind of get rid of some of that extra stuff there. So down from his ankle, then we're going to go straight down into this kind of a chicken chicken foot. He's almost got like a chicken foot there. Spread it out, and then you can do a round toe area, one, and another one, and another one out here. Kind of makes sense if he would have 3 toes, and he would have 3 fingers as well, I guess. That's how we're understanding that. So over here then, the back part of his lower leg would be sticking out. And it's really kind of a cool thing the way their legs move. In a human, we'd have an ankle here and then a foot sticking straight out, but the dinosaur world has all this extra, like almost like a chicken, or some animals that run fast have that kind of a setup in their leg structure. So there's 1 toe, 2 toes, and then 3 toes. Okay. Let's bring that back into his knee. All right. Okay, you need a break. If you need a break for a second, take a break. I'm going to come in here and add a little more thickness to his hindquarters here that come in like that, and then a little more thickness to his lower body there. And then we might as well go ahead and do our thickness on our upper arms. Those little tiny arms. Always makes you wonder, how do they, if they fall over, how can they get up? Amazing. Amazing. Okay, and then little thickness and maybe a little preliminary claw on each one of those. Like that, little claw thing there. And yeah, all right. All right. Okay, well, let's work our way back up into that head. That's kind of the fun part to do. So the eye of the T-Rex is kind of jutting out from the top of his head here a bit on his skull here. So we'll make a kind of an up in the air part here. And then around the tip of his snout, like that. And then we'll come down here. It's a little bit rounded right here. And the jaw has a kind of an interesting shape to it here, where it goes up right here and then comes way, way back. So try to include that line right in there, you know, that spot right there. Down here at his lower jaw, we've got kind of a corresponding lump in his lower jaw. Those two pieces kind of fit together, and sketch that in. And up into his mouth there. Okay. And you notice I don't always follow my imaginary lines when I'm working. That's why you make them so light, so you know, you can change your mind about things as you go. Keep making improvements as you draw. That's what we artists always do, making improvements along the way. Okay, he's looking really great. So let's see, right around here someplace, we're going to need to put an eye in. Let's draw a little eye in there. Okay, like that. Not too big. You can make it bigger later if you want. Not real happy with the shape of that head here. Let's go back and change that up a little bit. Okay, that's better. Like that better. Okay. And hey, make sure you put some teeth in. Just little spiky shapes. Lots of them. Okay, down here. Same thing. Okay. You can add more later if you want to. And then in here is kind of a stretchy part of their inner mouth right here that's kind of lets their mouth expand and go closed, and then that area right there reflects the other side of what would be their mouth. Okay, you with me so far? Ah, you guys, you're sticking right in there. Okay, so now that we've got all that, we can either take a black marker. If you want to use a black marker, you can. If you have color, if you're going to work in color. If you have a charcoal marker, a charcoal pencil rather, that's what I'm going to be using today because I can blend it. So I'm going to go into fast mode here as I outline my areas that I've just drawn here. So away we go. Okay, that's a good preliminary drawing. So now that we've got our drawing laid in, now's my favorite time, and if you have a black piece of chalk, or if maybe even if you have a black crayon, I've got a black chalk pastel here that I like using, and that's going to be the next thing that we get out to add some texture and tone and really wonderful details to our T-Rex. I'm just going to grab my kneaded rubber eraser here and get rid of my pencil lines. Sometimes I like to have a spare piece of paper like this to color some chalk dust onto it, and rather than color directly on to my surface of my drawing, you can make some really nice kind of blends with your fingertip, or if you don't like getting your fingertip dirty, what kind of an artist are you? No, then maybe use a Q-tip or something like that, but I'm just going to take my fingertip and introduce some tone in here. Ooh, I love that. Just with my fingertip and this extra chalk dust here, like that. Yeah, and then around his eye there's a dark spot in that eye. Don't worry, we'll get his eye going again there with the kneaded rubber eraser. And I'm just putting some kind of nice tone in here with my fingertip. Every once in a while you have to get some more on your finger. Okay, I need a little help down here, so I'm going to go right into my black chalk pastel. Rub that in. We've got some cool kind of veins we want to put in there after a bit. And in here too. Okay, like that. And a little bit back in there. Yeah, oh, I'm starting to really like this here. And the nice thing, of course, about using a chalk pencil, charcoal pencil, is that you can also blend your charcoal pencil into your chalk. So next time you're up at the art supply store, I know whoever adult you're with will say, hey, what do you need? You're an artist. You need to get, you can say you need a charcoal pencil. Pick one up. Best investment you'll ever make there. That sounds like a commercial. Okay, so just adding some neat tone as I go, and I'm looking over at my reference on my laptop. And that doesn't mean that everything you put into your drawing has to be based in reality. I think some of my favorite drawings have been ones that I made up off the top of my head. Something like this is a little different, where you need to, convince people what kind of a dinosaur this is here. So we need to kind of be accurate on some of our details that we're putting in there. Okay, and I'm just working my way around. Our light source, of course, appears to be from above. So that kind of gives you a clue about where to put light and dark. Okay, and down here as well, I think I'm going to darken up some places down here while I'm there. I'm rubbing that around. That's okay to go outside your lines a little bit here. That's where your erasers come in so handy. And as I said, I really like drawing with my erasers. I'll show you that in a minute too. And once again, referring back to our horse that we did a couple of months ago, I was able to do his whole mane using the kneaded rubber erasers. Really turned out pretty. And yeah, if I'm going too fast, then just pause it. Or maybe you're working in color and you'd rather just, color it all in. Interesting, though. I don't think scientists really know what color dinosaurs were. When I was a kid, everybody thought they were all green, kind of like, like lizards or something. But I'm not quite sure. I don't think anybody really knows for sure what color they were. And hey, correct me on that one too if you want to. When I was a kid, I'd sit down and Frankie would be right there and we would chat about things, about our drawing and stuff. That was always one of my favorite things to do. It was just kind of chit-chat back and forth while we're drawing. And Frankie can draw too. You ought to see what he does. Someday we'll get him to submit some of his drawings in here. All right, so working a little bit at a time. Trying to pick out details where I see them. Pick out dark spots where I see them. It's all about observing and looking and noticing details in things. That's really all art is anyway. Okay, well, back to his tail here. And we'll come back here with our chalk. Rubbing that in. Yeah, I got a squeaky art table today. I don't know what's squeaking, but something's kind of squeaky today. So bear with me. A little more on my fingertip to put some nice tone in here. Really terrific. Okay, and then out here, like that. And I think down in his feet, that other foot is more in shadow, so that's what we need to do there is go back into a little bit of shadow there. All right. And a little bit up in here too. Okay. All right, I think I've got a pretty good start. There's a few veins here at this point. I'm going to add in kind of a neat detail here next to his head. On my reference picture, there's a wiggly kind of a vein thing here. I guess it's a vein or artery or something. It's kind of a wiggly line that I see in mine. And then another couple of like neck arteries, or maybe they're some kind of muscle effect back here. I'm just going to put in some details like that. And a couple of other like kind of prominent marks along the way. Here's one I see that we can put in. We'll be doing a lot more of that too as we kind of head towards the finish. But I'm going to use some of these lines to kind of help me out with where to start erasing some of the things I want. Kind of some alligator-y sort of lines in his knee here that kind of are taking on kind of a wrinkly skin. Just kind of go back and forth with my charcoal pencil on that. What else am I seeing here? Something like that there. And maybe some kind of definite wrinkly bits in his tail. Okay, so a little bit of cleanup, I think, and I'm going to go around and take my kneaded rubber eraser, of course, and whatever the kneaded rubber eraser can't do, then you might have to go with your white eraser. We had James give you the white eraser recommendation at the beginning. I always like white erasers a lot better. Sometimes a pink eraser can leave a little bit of pink color, and you really don't want to see any pink color in a black and white drawing. So that's why I always stick with this white eraser that I get at the art supply store or plenty of other places. I think I even saw it at the dollar store the other day. I love this next part because you can really see what the kneaded eraser can do, and just the eraser in general can do in a chalk drawing like this. So I'm going to begin by, this is my white eraser. I'm going to come in here and get rid of the tone on top of his eye there, well, like that. And then I'm going to stick a little pupil in there. It really comes alive when you put the pupil in, don't you think? Yes. And so with my kneaded eraser, I can also do some really fun things. I'm going to kind of put a little point on it here, and I'm going to make some lines coming down. I'm going to switch over to this eraser, I guess. Here we go. And just coming back in here into these areas that I want to be revealed as like gathering light here. This is where just drawing with your eraser just comes in so handy, whether it's your white eraser or your kneaded rubber eraser. And I'm going to put some details in. So once again, I'm going into kind of a fast drawing mode. Okay, now I'm going to go back in with my charcoal pencil and add some more details. And okay, I like the way our drawing is turning out. I hope yours is going well. And before I clean it up, let's take a look at that first one again that we did. You'll notice that I've got a lot of background, kind of hazy stuff. Let's just kind of take a minute to see how I did some of that. And what I did was to build a kind of a rocky outcropping, I took my charcoal pencil, and charcoal stick rather, pastel stick, and I made just kind of a scrubby up and down line like that, and then pull back inside, okay, like that. Create some like places that are dark in it, and kind of use your imagination, and pretty soon the whole thing starts looking like wow, your dinosaur's coming up on some kind of a big rock here, and I'll kind of go over my edge here. That's kind of a neat technique to do, you know, with your rocks and stuff. Underneath, if you want your dinosaur to look a little more convincing, let's go back and we'll get some more of that chalk dust on our finger, and we'll create a neat shadow underneath him. Shadows always kind of look a little convincing, I'd say. And then some other cool things you can do just with your finger. Just going to create a little bit of the illusion that, and you can go, you know, you can just go crazy with this whole background thing. Just going to give the illusion that he's on some kind of a surface, prehistoric land or something like that. And then you could do clouds, you could do an erupting volcano. Oh my goodness, so many things you could do. Even, here, let's do the illusion of maybe a couple of trees back here. Just take your finger and dip in and stretch them out. Have your dinosaur going through like he's you know, working his way into the forest here. He's looking for a snack of some other little helpless dinosaur or something. I don't know. Getting silly here. So anyhow, and then of course after you do all this, it's fun to go back, as I did with my first one, and cut in with your eraser like that and create some neat like patterns and things in your background that you've done. So actually I like this one better than my first one, I think. That turned out great. So now we're going to finish things up, but before we do, I hope you had a great time drawing a T-Rex today. I certainly did. And don't forget, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you've got something to be proud of. You sure do. You're an artist. So stick with your drawing, keep practicing, and we'll see you back here next time in Mr. Shay's Art Room.